I'm here. Hold on a second. My camera turned off. I waited too long. Come on. There we go. I'm not sure what the hell's going on here. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. 1 second. I'm having technical difficulties right now. Michelle, why is Chris Watts not dead yet? I don't know. Because no one's gotten a hold of him. Bizarre as hell. I gotta change cameras. Hold on. Yep. Getting a little dizzy. Ah! Okay. Now I'll go back to this. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too dark. All right. Let's scroll back up here. I think the battery's dying on my other camera. I plugged it in, but if I put the other battery in it, it'd kill the stream. All right. So good morning, Tammy, Molly, Mike, Mindy, Conscious, Anxious Truth, Yellow Lemons, good morning. Scott B. Kevin, good morning. Soccer Mom of One, good morning. Mary, good morning. Faithful One, good morning. Nona 617, good morning. Lisa, Carol, Dorothy, Martha Dickinson, good morning. Jean, Kathy, Opinionated Oma, Mr. Kevin R., Seattle Crime Gal, good morning. Okay, so the reason why you see the scroll at the bottom, especially with the support part of this, is I had a couple people that the other day who were trying to give me a donation to support my channel, and they kept on when you log on to the you type that link in, it brings up the PayPal page, and my business name. Actually, I have a real business license because yes, I have to pay taxes on all this. It has my business name on there, Rocket Records and Books. That's my actual business. And then it's below that, it says the tiny little size 10 font, it says actual 411 Now. I'm doing business as 411 Now on YouTube. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody saw that, and especially with those two. I don't know if they're in here yet. Alan Bacon, good morning, sir. How are you doing today? Brandy, Lanky Tor, coffee time. You're darn right, it's coffee time. All right, that's enough of that scroll. I hope you are all doing well this morning. Mindy, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Really do. Mary, everyone in my family has the flu. My wife, my daughter, my son. I knew. So normally, with children, they're like patient zero, but this time it wasn't my son. My daughter actually came home from work last week on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday last week, and she wasn't feeling well, and she was complaining of a headache, and basically, chills and fever and stuff like that. And she went and laid down. I didn't see her again until Saturday, something like that, Saturday evening. But then my son got sick, and my wife got sick. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last week is, taking care of them. Where are those kids? The missing kids from Idaho, Michelle? I don't know. Michael. Did I say Michelle? Sorry. Where are those kids from Idaho? I don't know. Well, I can hear you, but not see you. It's your front page and a buffer. I'm sorry. Moved it. One second. I'm going to turn this light towards me a little more. Nice background, huh? You get to see my other golf cart. I've got two. One that I use at the golf course. And to answer your question, I believe it was Tammy, if I'm golfing today, yes. But not right away. After this live stream, me and my wife have to shoot our podcast. We have our podcast that we have to do this morning because normally we do it on Thursdays or Wednesdays, but because of work schedule and they're sick and everything, couldn't exactly have somebody sit in a chair for an hour and do a podcast when all they want to do is just curl up in a blanket and die. But yeah, that's my other golf cart back there. For my Seattle crime gal, it is actually Seahawk colors. I don't know if it's showing up all that well, but on the front of it, which you can't see, which is over there, it's facing the opposite direction, but it's got two giant Seahawk decals. I mean, not decals, but I drew them on there and then painted them. So that one doesn't run. It's got the throw out clutch broke on it. I used that one for I don't know, quite a few years. Got a lot of miles out of it. Yep. Go Hawks. And good morning, Seattle crime gal. I'm not sure if I said good morning to you or not. I'm sorry if I did. Since moving to Florida, I don't get sick. There you go. Yeah, that happens, soccer mom. Usually it's I mean, when my daughter was younger, she'd go to school and kids just trade, the flu like there's nothing. One kid will show up at school sick and make the entire class sick, and then they come home and give it to you. But it wasn't my son this time. Oh. because I got a call from the school. We have this thing through my son's school. It's called the class Dojo. And it's an actual app that you can have on your phone, and they give you updates, and you can they'll tell you how your kid's doing in class. So it's kind of cool, and keeps you up to date, where they need to be working on. So you can, at home, you can help them. Like, they'll say, look, your son is, our daughter is doing this today. We feel that your son could use a little more instruction on the numbers 8 through 13, where my son is really good at all the way up to 10, but number 11 is that's the sticking point, and then he'll go 12, 13, but not 11. But kids for you these days, huh? Gotta love them. Yeah, Mindy. Good morning, Gingerlock. Brandy James, your son's school uses the Dojo. Very useful. Yeah. Well, but so back to the reason why I brought up the Dojo was because they actually told me that they brought him to the school nurse because he was running a fever. And one of the things that the school, if they are showing certain signs of being sick, you have to come pick them up. So I got an alert on my Dojo thing, and little number 1 in red, and I clicked on it and said, your son has just been sent to the nurse for a fever. You may need to come pick him up. So, but they sent me that message like 20 minutes before he was supposed to be out of school. So by the time I got there, it was time to pick him up anyways. The Colorado 7, the 7. Good morning. Today's my grandson's 6th birthday. Well, happy birthday to your grandson. Grandkids are the best. I'm 48, so still young enough to play hide and seek. Wow, Tammy, you are young. You're younger than me. Well, congratulations. I don't have any grandchildren yet. I don't know if I ever will from my daughter. She says she's never having children. I'm like, whatever. That's the same thing me and my wife said. But then look at us. Saturday morning church with 411. Still here. Good morning. Still here. I hope everyone is doing well today. And good morning, Kathy. We just had tornadoes come through North Carolina, and the school alert systems were amazing at keeping parents informed. That I follow a YouTube channel, and I believe he's out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and he was talking about the downpouring rain that they're having on his stream the other night. So I know all about tornadoes. Tornadoes suck. I was convinced as a child that tornadoes, all the homes in my neighborhood pointed at my home. How's your wife? Oh, she's doing better. She's not 100% yet. Dardine Creek, good morning. When kids start 13, they lose their ability to speak and just grunt until they are 18 years old. I believe that. Oh, I believe that. If I can get my daughter to, between the ages of 13 and 22, to look up from her phone long enough to, to acknowledge that there are people, that are alive on planet Earth besides herself. She's getting better at it, though. Her grandmother has made a huge difference in her social development, I guess you could say. Because whenever she goes out, she has a rule. You want to go somewhere with me, you want to go shopping, you want to go do something with me, you leave your damn phone in the glove box of the car. I'm not putting up with this anymore. Because she'd walk through the store as they're trying to buy clothes, and she's texting her friends or looking at her phone. Her grandmother's like, no, you're going to interact with people. We go out to dinner. You leave the phone in the glove box of the car. It's made a huge difference because now she actually looks up and and converses with people instead of looking down at her phone. It's a good rule. Yeah, it is. Your mother-in-law's. So, hope everyone is safe, Brandy. Good grandma. Yes, she is. Very, very fortunate to have a mother-in-law like the one I have. She lives about 5 blocks away, 6 blocks away. So she's always been there. Knock on wood that she still has her health. Father-in-law, not so much, but mother-in-law is she's definitely there. She's semi-retired, so she's got time to spend with her grandchildren, which she would much rather do than anything else. That and garden. She loves her garden. Wow. Your 9-year-old grandson has a phone now. My son has a cell phone, but it doesn't do anything. All it is basically it's an old iPhone, so it only plays music. So whenever we go on long car rides, he can sit there and he can play music that's on it that we've downloaded to it. But he doesn't have he's only 3. If I taught him our home phone number, he wouldn't remember it. But I guess most people don't know each other's phone numbers anymore. They just know that there they are in the call, and they hit the number, hit the button. Well, it all depends on what the temperature is, Kathy. To leave your phone in a hot car, you shouldn't leave it in direct sunlight. I mean, here our temperatures don't get up into 100 plus. They do sometimes in the summer, but my mother-in-law would rather if the phone got cooked and it destroyed it, and having it in the glove box, she'd just buy her a new phone. She'd rather replace the phone than have her be disrespectful and look at her cell phone and ignore the people around her. I'm sorry, Kathy. I got perfect service right now. 5 out of 5 bars. Good morning, Chrissy. Mom used to get mad at me for being on my phone too much, and then she got an iPhone, and now she's the one always on the phone when she visits me. Yeah. It's a yeah. I totally agree with you there, Seattle crime gal. And my daughter was away at Washington State University, WSU, and at least I knew I could track her by her phone, but she didn't like that. And I still have Google notifications on her phone, so I know even now I know where she is, even when I don't know her. She may not be answering her phone because sometimes Dad's name pops up on the phone. She doesn't necessarily want to answer it right away, but these are things I put on her phone when she was younger, and we needed to keep in touch with her because we were worried, just like that. but now I just never took them off. And of course I haven't told her that these things are still on there. That's where I went to college. I went to Washington State University, but unfortunately I never graduated. Me and my roommates all got asked politely not to come back. Long story. Long story. Oh, your daughter is you're doing her vitals with her? Gotta love nursing students. Well, it's a good career to be in, Mindy. The medical field is that I tell kids all the time. If you don't know what you want to do in this world, college is not the answer for everyone. Some people just don't want to go to trade schools, and that's where it's really at. We should be pushing students to go to trade schools. But the medical field, it's never going away, and there never is, there's never enough people for the positions, especially in nursing. You definitely, you can go anywhere in the world and have a job. Pays pretty good too. Most of my family is in the medical field. My wife, my mother-in-law, my daughter, my two of my wife's aunts are in the medical field. Good morning. Excuse me. Inner Peas. Good morning. Sorry. Marion, you hate uni, the university? That's cool, Mary. Bachelor's of Education. My mother-in-law, I won't say just how old she is, but let's just say that she's up there. She's getting up there. But she's a firm believer in you're never too old to start to learn something new. She has so many professional letters after her name, professionally. But she's always, going to school to learn something new. So she professionally right now, she is head of radiology at the hospital where she works, but she's going to school currently to learn stenography or something like that. I think that's what it is. Danielle, the nurses are awesome, especially the ones in hospice. Yeah. Sorry if I missed anybody's comments. I looked away from the screen. My mouse, I don't know what the hell is going on this morning, but it keeps on stopping. Put your kids in the heavy equipment operator at 16, 17, 18 years old. They will always have it to fall back on. Equipment operators make good money. Yep. I'll tell you a quick little story about my friend John. So after high school, me and a lot of my friends, we went to community college, and then after community college, then we went on to the major university. And my friend John was kind of always I don't want to say lost. He just never could really make up his mind on what he wanted to do. And we'd come back during like Christmas break or whatever, and John always said, he was going to go to trade school and become a welder. We're like, okay, John, good luck with that. I mean, I finished up after community college and college. I was about $60,000 in debt. Some of my friends were even farther in the debt by the time they finished up their college and everything else. John went to trade school, and after trade school, he got on with the union, and within 2 years, he was completely debt free. He had bought his first house, while the rest of us were struggling to find a job and to get a place, just to like an apartment to rent that we could afford. He was, and now all these years later, well over 30 years later, John is now very well off. He makes close to 6 figures a year as a welder. That's why I say college is not for everyone. Marion Rona Worthing, good morning. You're a palliative care nurse, and at times it's mentally exhausting. You physically too. As a nurse, a mentor, you can teach the drugs, etc., but you can't teach empathy. That is very true. And that is something that a lot of people miss, is empathy for other people, especially those who are ill. I will. Everyone in the chat from London is 1619 there. It is 8:20 a.m. here where I am. Inner P's first job was a spot welder. My first job, since you brought that up, my first job was 8 years old, and I worked for a construction company. They were tearing down old brick buildings in downtown Minneapolis. And I would go through the piles, giant piles of bricks, and I would sort the good bricks from the broken bricks. And all the good bricks went into one pile, and the bad ones went into another pile. And that's all I did. I just sorted bricks. 8 years old, just going and picking up bricks and that were not broken and putting them into a pile, and all the other ones into another pile. I got paid for that. That was my first job. Well, first job that wasn't on a farm, because we lived on a farm. Respiratory therapists are great too. Good pay. Everyone thinks we're RNs. I hear a puppy. Yeah, Kathy. I've got so we had 5 dogs here. Now we're down to 3 dogs. Sorry, one of the dogs that I adopted a long time ago, who is she's almost completely blind, but she's completely deaf. And she was laying inside the house. I'm sitting at my wife's computer, like this, and she's laying to my right on the floor next to me, because I have to tap her on her muzzle to wake her up. So when it was time to go eat, because you had to help her up and down the stairs because she has arthritis so bad. My son came running into the room, and he stopped next to me, and he accidentally kicked her and woke her up, and she nipped him right in the side by the hip. And well, we did not put the dog down. She is still alive, but she is now living with my mother-in-law. So now we are down to 3 dogs, and the other dog that we were taking care of has gone on to a pasture far away. That dog is no longer with us. Dari D. Yes, I know how to send super chat and interviews. You click on the $ to the far right bottom where you type in the menu, and it comes up. Oh, good morning, Cece. I'm not a tech head. Neither am I. Sheila Rader. Good morning. Carol Henke. I need a respiratory therapist. Well, thank you, Dari. It's really nice of you to do that. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Wow. Yeah. See, she didn't mean to. She got startled awake, and it just happened. But that was the one and last and only chance that dog is ever going to have, as far as my wife is concerned. So my mother-in-law, she already has one older dog that she's taken care of that used to be her parents' dog, and she inherited after they both passed on. And she's got a huge backyard. It's a little over an acre and a half, fenced in with a 6-foot wooden privacy fence. She's got room for her to run around. Not that she runs; she barely walk, but she's got room for her there. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Doing good. Oh, I didn't think you were brown nosing either. I appreciate it, Dari. Hi, Alicat. Good morning. Question for everyone. What are some of your stress relieving activities? You crochet and you're a rock hound as well, huh? Me? I do yoga. It really helps. I'm not kidding. Golfing and yoga. You would be really surprised just how I was really hesitant about yoga, when I first did it, but then I was like, you know what? It really works. It does, and it really helps, especially as you get older. Your flexibility. I've got a lot of friends who are and family members that are Seattle crime gals that are in the law enforcement, and they do a keto, and they do um, Mai Tai. Yoga is awesome. It is. You'd be surprised just how after doing it for a while, I was really surprised just how much flexibility I got back in my body. And for the longest time, I had really bad, like, not lower back, but like middle of the back pain. And I already had back surgery once before to relieve you know uh, a disc pressure on one of the discs in my back. And then I ended up, I started doing yoga. I've never had any problems since then. And it's helped my golf game quite a bit too. Because I mean, after golfing 18 holes, before then I was just physically exhausted, but not now. And I need it because I got to keep up with a 3-year-old. I guess that's kind of like my other activity, not so much of a stressor, but a reliever. But yeah, Dari D, you can go on to type it into YouTube. There are quite a few YouTube channels where they have yoga and basic yoga things that you can do, and you can watch along at home and follow it. There are quite a few good channels out there. Well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. I don't know. I think there are other people out there that are, respectful as well. I mean, Scott Sharp. I mean, he's a pretty respectful individual. I've never seen Scott ever say anything ill about anyone over at True Crime Loser, my Schmida family. Yeah, either that or Seattle Crime Gal, or just do it at home, like I was telling her. I mean, there are YouTube channels that you can follow along where they break it down, just the basic yoga poses and exercises that you can do, where you can do it right there in the comfort of your own living room. Try that out first, and then just see it, after repeating it a little bit, and how do you feel? Do you like it? Before you go out there and say, okay, I'm going to join a yoga studio, do it for free at home. I do meditation, relax. Cece does. I was going to join in your stream yesterday, Cece. I was sitting there and I was trying to do my taxes, and it was at the same time as listening to you, and so I didn't get an actual chance to actually say anything. But I love TCL too. My Schmida. Schmida. Why, Stiven? Why? Hey, beautiful. How's Linda doing today? Good morning. Namas in my life. Yeah. Well, one of these days, Cece, we'll do it. One of these days. Janelle, good morning. Same here. I'm living my life. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. So I make every day count as much as I can. Kathy is going to spend all day watching court TV. What is the member green? What is the member green? I don't know what that is. Taco Tuesdays, anyone? Woga for wheelchair yoga. 4 patients aside from me are over 80 and can hardly move. Felt so bad. There are, I know there's a YouTube channel where they have exercises. It's kind of like, wheelchair yoga, but they do it with just a chair and just basic exercises for those who don't have the physical ability to do the yoga poses. It's just exercises you can do from just sitting in a chair, and where sometimes you stand behind the chair and hold the back of the chair, but anything is better than nothing. Oh, the join button for the channel membership. Shmita bam. Mine is a wheelchair yoga. Thank you, Dari. Oh, are you talking about the green little side S thing? Yeah, that's for those are the people who are channel members. Now it makes sense to me. Is today their moving day? Well, I hope it. What did he say? Has he ever had his girlfriend on his channel? I don't think he has. I'd love to see a picture of her. I've seen a picture of his dad. His dad was at one of. I think it was his dad. And maybe I'm confusing with another channel. But I thought it was his dad was on one of them. But I mean, but besides the wedding one where he does the speech at his sister's wedding. You can do armchair yoga. If you have to start somewhere. Ever see his stand up? Yeah, I follow his other channel, his stand up channel. For the longest time, he never promoted it on True Crime Loser. He never actually had any links or anything there. He's just now recently in this last 6 months or so started putting the link in there to his other channel, to his stand up. He is funny. I'd have to fly across the United States to go see him do it, in person, because he's in New York, and I'm in Washington State on the other side of the U.S. from him. I don't know if necessarily living with a comedian is, any different from anybody else. Is there a show by me? I mean, when I did the stand-up comedy, the open mic night? No. When I did it, and when I got there, I asked them if they recorded it. They said no. The only ones that they record is the comedian who actually does the opening, and the one guy who's actually he's not a regular, but he comes in and he's working on new material. But when it's then the rest of the night is just open mic. And so I was part of that. They don't record that. They told me, well, if you would have, let us know, you could have had somebody else come in and they could have recorded it for you. They could have used all the equipment here to film it. Of course, I didn't know that until I got there, and I was like, well, there wasn't anybody I could call at the last minute and say, hey, come on down and record this 3 minutes for me. It was actually, I went a little bit longer because the guy who introduced me went longer. So I was supposed to do 3 minutes. I actually ended up doing 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Oh, yes, you are, Linda. And thank you very much. I saw that the other day. It kind of threw me off because I was like, until you actually commented, then I knew I made the connection between, your actual last name and Linda K. Listening. But thank you very much, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. It was definitely something new. I firmly believe in challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone and to try new things. Maybe my mother-in-law has rubbed off on me in that aspect. She's constantly learning and trying new things in life. And if you get into a rut, you'll never learn anything new. You have to, look outside the box. Say, oh, I'm not comfortable doing this, but it's what's the worst thing that can happen is, and doing stand-up comedy, even the 3 minutes and 15 seconds, what was the worst thing that could happen was nobody was going to laugh or people were going to boo me and tell me to get out of there. I mean, I've been booed in larger crowds than that before. So to me, it was worth it. Will I do it again? Maybe. And I don't have any plans to right away. I mean, I got some good laughs for some of the jokes that I told. It was all like clean comedy. I didn't do anything raunchy. Thank you, Dari. No, Chrissy, I didn't think you meant it in a bad way either. There's no reason to be sorry, sweetheart. Janelle, it's a Will Star right now, technically. That my other channel will change from right now. If you go on there, it says TTC. Yeah, TTC. And then in parentheses, the Taco Podcast, formerly Will Star. And a week from now, the entire channel will change to the name of my other channel will change to the Taco Podcast. And to answer a question that I've received a lot on Facebook in the group there, no, I'm not going to stop. It's not going to be that channel is not going to be just the podcast. I'm going to do other things on that channel. It's not just going to be mine and my wife's podcast. It's just been really busy, and I've already filmed a couple more of the Dad Can Cook videos. I already have those. They're ready to upload. I just haven't done them. Oh, thank you, Janelle. I don't know if I'm a natural comedian. I just happen to look at life in a different way, and I do my best, I guess. Life is short. None of us are guaranteed it tomorrow. Firm believer in that. Soccer mom of one enjoys the taco channel. Yeah. And we have the one T-shirt on the Teespring store right now, but we paid an actual artist. She does comic strips and stuff like that. She did the artwork for the that at the beginning. It's a comic illustration of me and my wife, but it's Cartoons by Christine is her actual YouTube and not YouTube, but Facebook page name. But my wife met her through I think a lactive like group or something like that. Skeptical. I'm sorry. I'm probably remembering and thinking this through my head. I want to say skeptical doctor, but that's probably not it. And she's not here for me to ask. Yeah. Sold quite a few of those t-shirts that are on there right now. Are you into Watts movie or something? I heard something you were in a movie star. Linda, they used a screenshot in the documentary about Watts, tragedy documentary about Christopher Watts. So I'm in that. And well, it's a screenshot of like 4 different YouTube creators. But they used I'm in there. They didn't ask me. I didn't get paid for it. They did it anyways. My father-in-law, who is an attorney, is actually looking into, that can they use my likeness without my permission? So, and they also are using my likeness in that same screenshot of the other 3 people. And I think Rambling Mommy or Mommy's Ramblings. I'm sorry if I don't know the channel, but she's one of the other 4 that are in that picture. But in the promotional video about the Watts movie and the documentary, the same screenshot is used in that as well. So I guess I am someone famous. But if I've been on the news quite a few times over my lifetime. I was in the news a couple of years ago when the state passed a new handgun law. I was on that for that, and then before that, it was about texting and driving. I was just at the park with my family, and all of a sudden, the news station showed up and they started interviewing people. And they came up and asked me, "What's your opinion about this new gun law?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't read it, so I can't really give you an opinion about it." And I'm thinking I'm just talking to the person. I had no idea the guy was filming. He wasn't even holding it on the thing on his shoulder. He was holding it in his hand like this. As a child? Bye, Kathy. Outrunning Aaron. Sorry, just my opinion. I'm sorry, I didn't see what your opinion was. All right. Just scroll up. The other 3 people, Mommy Insomniac. Yeah. Well, yeah, you saw that outrunning errands. I like that. I like your name there. That's cool. I'm guessing your name is Aaron. Welcome. I'm glad you could join in the community today. Ooh, I missed something there. Janelle, it's in the house. It's still sitting. I opened up the box. I looked at it. My wife looked at it. We're like, great. And I put it back in the box and it's still sitting on the table. I got this award in the mail. I have no idea. All right. So have I verified it? To answer that part of it, I verified that the magazine is real. I've never heard of it before. but it's real. As far as that, but I can't find any other information on it, and it didn't come with any other paperwork except for, it's like one paragraph, like, congratulations, your series on this was picked to be the best serialized story coverage of it for 2019, and then a signature. That's it. That's all it's in the box. That and some of those bubbly airbag things. So it's still in the house, sitting on the table. Have I done any more than that to verify it? No. I mean, the whole thing could be just a spoof for all I know. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't care. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's nice that somebody recognized the work that I did, but at the same time, it's kind of like, great. I mean, I don't do this because I want fame. I don't do this because I want to become the next Casey Neistat with 30 million subscribers and making $1 million a month in revenue. Although $1 million a month in revenue would be super cool. I would be totally okay with that. But I'm never going to get there. I just want this to pay for itself eventually. It's got to at least cover its own expenses. So, and I would much rather make friends. And I think that I'm off to a great start. I've made a lot of really great friends, so far, and I hope to make more. I'm still here. I'm still here. do 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 do. Deborah Mayhew, good morning. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. Thank you, out running errands. That took a lot of work that wasn't beneficial in a lot of ways. Hello, darkness, my old friend. What is it? What's the next line? Is it I come to see you again? Who knows the next line of the song? Simon and Garfunkel. Raja, good morning. Oh, thank you. There's a lot more to it than just talking about the same old thing. I mean, we got 4 million videos on one part of it. A lot more to the story than that. Any ideas on if Ted Bundy ever had an accomplice? No. No, to answer your questions, Mike. I don't think he did. But, when it comes to Ted Bundy, you can make an entire channel just covering the simple things about his life. He is one of the truly, underexplored. I know there's a lot of content out there about Ted Bundy. Yeah. Well, I've never tried the. Well, I shouldn't say I should. I've never tried. I've just never gotten into vaping. Here, just as soon as if I was like thinking about trying vaping, it was the state just said, "Well, we're getting rid of all this. It's all illegal now." There's my dogs. Oh, Martha, that's an eerie. The video for that for Silence, Sound of Silence by Disturbed. That's an eerie video. Great rendition of it though. You are absolutely right there. Yeah, I've seen that one, The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. It's definitely I'd say more of today's music. It brings it to light to a whole nother generation who would have missed it. Well, a lot of the blurred lines, the big tobacco companies are buying up all the vaping companies, and then basically, pushing pushing them into like a smaller pocket. They know what they're doing. Aaron grew up listening to records that her folks played. I still listen to my records. I do every day. In the morning when my son gets up, we're having breakfast. We listen to either, we bounce back and forth between three, but a lot of times it's either Gordon Lightfoot or I like to play something mellow in the morning for him. But, Gordon Lightfoot, he really likes that right now. And he's been listening to, Cat Stevens a lot. Yusuf Islam. Did he change his name too? But Cat Stevens. And early David Bowie. I've never really got too much into, I don't know what would be early David Bowie. I mean, um, David Bowie definitely had some really good albums. I have, I think, 2 or 3 Bowie albums in there. But Led Zeppelin and the Eagles, I've got everything on the Zeppelins, pretty much, I guess. I don't, not nearly as much on Led Zeppelin as I do on Johnny Cash. I know for a fact I have every single LP that Johnny Cash ever put out, from his Sun records all the way through his gospel, and then through to the end of his life. Now I can't listen to Johnny Cash's versions of um, Nine Inch Nails, Hurt. Man, there's just something about him singing that song in the video, where they put the pictures of June Carter in the background. Chokes me up just thinking about it. Love you some Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah. My son wants me to play the shipwreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald all the time. So I actually went out and bought the 45 just so I can, on my turntable, so I can play it in loop form. So it just plays it, and then it goes back, and it replays it and goes back. It just keeps on playing the same song. He'll sit there and he does his little dance, and then he'll run around, the couch while I'm sitting there trying to enjoy my coffee, hoping that he doesn't jump up on me. He is Freddie Mercury, George Michael, Prince in one, and Elton John. There you got that's some great music there. My daughter grew up listening to a lot of the Beatles, and still does listen to a lot of the Beatles. Freddie Mercury and Queen. My wife's best friend is a huge Freddie Mercury fan. And we got someone there. Gibb, the Bee Gees. Staying alive. Oh. Adam Lambert, he's got a good voice. I like some of Adam Lambert's music. Stardust, David Bowie. Dari's back. My 16-year-old loves the 80s music. I have some albums from the 80s, mostly soundtracks like Pretty in Pink, and I've got like movie soundtracks to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I like that's basically my youth. How was it? It went okay. My stand-up, it didn't work exactly as the way I planned, but it wasn't a disaster. I mean, I got some laughs at some of the jokes that I told that were, but I think it's more like my timing. It just didn't flow right, and that's something that like people like Scott, Sharp over at True Crime Loser. I mean, he does stand-up comedy for a living, and I'm never going to try to do it for a living. But it's something that they have to work. It's a craft. It's an actual job, and it's a skill that you have to get down, because there's a timing to it, and you have to know when to start the next joke. As people are laughing, you need to know when it starts to die off and when to start telling the next joke. Otherwise, it's just like somebody standing here just talking nonstop to you. So, I've never been much of a YouTube fan. I mean, Joshua Tree, a little bit. I like that. But Sasha Kidd, yes, I love all types of music. Same here. I listen to a very eclectic collection of music. I have everything from rhythm and blues, gospel, punk. I got a lot of punk albums. And then, going through country. I've got everything from, Glenn Campbell's Country Lineman to, Waylon Jennings, Dixie Chicks. I've got all kinds of, country, and I never considered, Johnny Cash, country. I guess he was, but it was just something that I grew up listening to. My dad was into like the Rat Pack, Sinatra, and music like that. My mom was a hippie, I guess you'd call it. Van Morrison. Oh, I love Van Morrison. Love Van Morrison. Raja's favorite is Queen and Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Good music. Very good. No, Chrissy, you're not the only Van Morrison fan. Not by a long shot. Oh, some Hank Jr., huh? Raising Hell. Bye, Soccer Mom of One. You have a great day today. Lynyrd Skynyrd. I'll be listening to when I golf. I listen to a lot of Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Doobie Brothers when I golf. Mainly because my other, not this one, not this golf cart behind me here, but my other golf cart has a stereo in it. It's got a CD player and speakers and everything. It's already built in, so it's kind of like music that doesn't offend the other people that I golf with. So that, and I love Lynyrd Skynyrd. You can't go wrong with Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Doobie Brothers. Because that, what song would you have at your funeral? Good question. Good question. Besides Frames in Low Places, My Way, Frank Sinatra. Into the Mystic. There you go. It's a good song. Turn, turn, turn. No. Is he? I didn't know that. Adam Lambert was doing that. Velvet Underground, Nico. Nico out of Velvet Underground. I got some Lou Reed in there. And I know I definitely have one Lou Reed album from back then, Velvet Underground, that time frame. I think it might be I'm not sure if it's an autographed one or LP or not. I've got some that are autographed. AC/DC, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. There you go. Mine would be Raise a Little Hell, Kim Craig, and welcome Kim. Didn't see you before. Sorry I didn't say hello. Perfect Day. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Van Halen, Kris Kristofferson. There's somebody who doesn't get enough respect. Kris Kristofferson. Does everybody know the story of how Kris Kristofferson got his start? Waylon, Queen, Doors. Few boys now like me. Kimberly Williams. Good morning, by the way. Also love Johnny. Well, in case you're not familiar with the Kris Kristofferson story of how he got his start, was he actually borrowed a helicopter and landed it in front of Johnny Cash's home, and then walked up to his front door and said, that he wanted to introduce himself. And he, what was it? The song about liquor stores being closed on Sundays or whatever it is. Steve Perry. Blind Melon. Wow. I haven't heard of Blind Melon in a long time. Jedi Wiggs. And good morning to you. Gwen Stefan. No doubt. Angel, my Sarah McLachlan would be my song at my funeral. How do they come up with squirrels, not zippers? No Rain. I'm not familiar with No Rain. Who does No Rain? Out running errands. Roy Orbison. Yeah, he had a hell of a voice. Kid Rock. Not something I would listen to mellow out to. Jedi Wigs. Jedi as in Star Wars. Traveling Wilburys. There's a group. Oh, yeah, what? Traveling Wilburys. That was Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Willie Nelson. Who else was in there? Am I missing anybody? Rumors by best Fleetwood Mac album. No Rain. F417H. Good morning and welcome. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Petty, Tom Petty. Debbie Gilkins, yes. I'm from Michigan and like Kid Rock too. Kenny Rogers. I've got Kenny Rogers in there. I've got his Gambler album. Rush. Neil Young married Daryl Hannah. Neil Young married Daryl Hannah. Billy Strings. Hold on. We'll definitely look him up. Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know, swear to God, Dari, this came up the other day on Facebook. My friend Tim doesn't believe it. I have never seen the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've never seen it. I have seen it acted out 30 or 40 times. I've never seen the movie. Don't forget about Billy Squier. There's one that, wow. Billy Squier, Foreigner, Timeless, Jackson Browne. There's some good music, Kim. Love Jackson Browne. That and thinking of Jackson Browne reminds me of Bad Boy Leroy Brown by Jim Croce. Saw the Rocky Horror Picture at the theater, and the audience all dressed up and dancing along. So much fun. Yeah, Karen. I've seen that done 30 or 40 times. There used to be a theater in downtown Minneapolis. It was right off of First Street, and I would stop in and I'd watch it, being acted out. But I've never seen the movie. Xavier Brown, The Grateful Dead. I liked Guns N' Roses, Rasha, when they first came out. I mean, how can you go wrong with the little Sweet Child of Mine? And, the years have not been good to Axl Rose. Let's just say that. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, great album. Billy Joel, Elton John, swing music. Well, you like swing music? How about the Stray Cats? You ever heard of the Stray Cats, Dari? Guns N' Roses was your first concert with Def Leppard? There you go. Went and saw Tool back in the day. I've never seen Tool. Been to a lot of concerts. We actually, it was probably about 10 years ago. We sat down and we tried to write out. We had a list, got on a notebook. We wrote down all the different concerts that we have been to over the years. And I was like 300 different concerts I've been to. A lot. Stray Cats were the first few videos to air on MTV. I remember MTV when it first came out. My friend came over to my house and just this panic saying, "You got to see this new show!" And he turned on my TV. It was a big old Curtis Mathes TV. It was about the size of this table here, and that actually thing that my mom bought that in like 1979, and it worked all the way up until about 3 years ago. That damn thing moved all over the damn world and worked perfect. But it finally, it died. But back to what I'm saying though, when MTV first came out, he tuned on the TV, and MTV was only on until I think at 10 o'clock at night or something like that. It was only on for a short period of time, and then it went off before the TV went off, and then we had that. Those were the days. Good morning, Black Rose. I was glued to MTV and indoctrinated me. Yeah, that was back when MTV actually played music television. And then slowly but surely they found that they could make more money, with reality TV, and now they don't play anything at all. But then again, I don't watch TV anymore, hardly ever. In a given month, I might watch 3 hours of television in a month. Walker 1963, your first concert was the Monkees. Hey, we're the Monkees. You were 3 years old, and I remember seeing a couple making out, LOL. Wow. We're just monkeying around. We're too busy singing. Do anybody home? I used to watch that show, the Monkees. We're dating ourselves here. We remember all this stuff when we were kids. Torque? Never heard of Torque. You used to live next door to Peter York or Torque? Peter Torque. Okay. The Doors? I like the Doors. I got a couple of the Doors albums. Coming to Birmingham this spring. Wow. Died last year. Sorry. At me. What did I miss? Carol, do you like guitarists? You think Jimi Hendrix was one of the best guitarists ever? If you really like to listen to somebody or want to see somebody who could really play the guitar, who a lot of people really never knew was out there, you got to see Buddy Guy. Absolutely mind-blowing talent. So many people have never listened to his music or seen him play live. I saw Buddy Guy play. I was 24, 25 years old, somewhere in there. And I saw him play, and it was just like, where the hell has this man been my entire life? You know, for a guitarist. Buddy Guy. Mind-blowing talent. Mind-blowing. Never got as enough respect for his. Well, Eric Clapton was. I think Eric Clapton was more of a. He was a talent in a lot of ways. And songwriter, definitely one of the better songwriters out there. You know, if you don't cry over or shed a tear at least for Tears in Heaven, there's something wrong with you. What? Santana? Peter Santana? Oh, you got to look him up, Carol. I saw him at when I first saw him was at the Blues Festival, and it was the Blues Festival main headliners was B.B. King, George Clinton and the Psychedelics, and then Buddy Guy was the main headliner, and I was just like, mind blown. Santana, Carlos Santana. Yeah, I've got some Santana in there, I know. The Moody Blues. There we go. Nights in White Satin. Now I got that song in my head, Kim. Thanks. That's a great song. Santana. Yeah. It's okay. Just like Adam Lambert. Another, and if you like blues music, Lightning Hopkins. Lightning Hopkins was awesome. Red Hot Chili Pepper. Peppo. Stardust, Moody Blues. Can't go wrong with the Moody Blues. Jim Croce, one of the talents that died way too young. Way too young. Soundgarden. I've seen Soundgarden play in concert. Saw them in Seattle. I've seen them. Wow. I can't remember what year that was. 90 something. It had to be 90 something. It was after, the grunge era started. Nirvana. I had tickets to go see Nirvana. They were supposed to play the weekend after Kurt killed himself. I still have the tickets in the house. Sonia, thank you for the super chat. Good morning. I just wanted to say I appreciate the work you put into your video content. Your honesty and kindness have a wonderful setting. Thank you very much, Sonia. I really appreciate it. I'm going to play Pink Floyd in the dark later. Just chill. Yeah, my son doesn't really like the. I've played him some Pink Floyd's like The Wall, and he's just not into it yet. I'll get him to come around. I'll play it enough in the car, in the truck or something. Well, hey, don't leave the UK out of it. The UK has had some awesome, uh, talents over the years too. There are artists all over the world who really put their mark on the music out there. It's an acquired taste, Will. Yeah. Right now, I'm still working on my daughter, trying to get her to enjoy some of the classics, movies of or movies that, of my youth. You know, how old's my son? He is 3 years old. My daughter is 22. Same wife, same daddy, just 19 years apart. My grandson got a record player for Christmas. He's 18. He's mesmerized. Asked him how many grooves were on an LP. Anyone know? How many grooves? Well, it depends on how many tracks are on it, Martha. I mean, if there's one groove that the needle actually plays in at a time, but if they're like if it's Inagata Davida, by Iron Butterfly, I mean, geez, that's an entire side of the LP, I think. So, Will, how many grooves does an LP have? It all depends on how. I mean, there's got to be a maximum because you have to have the runoff area and then the label. So I don't know. Maybe they know on Wikipedia. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that one. That's a good question, but I would guess it'd be dependent upon just how long of how much of the use there is. If they went all the way to the maximum, they still have to have some tiny runoff area before the label. As many as it needs. That's true. 24th. 200. What is 24,000? 24,000? No. You'll be there for 4 hours. You're guessing? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of, when it comes to LPs, there's a lot of different things that they've tried over the years. So you have your standard LP, then you have your quadrophenia, LPs, which were meant to play on quadrophenia players, and there was supposed to be this new high tech, system that never took place. So I have no idea. The answer to your question, it's a good question though, but I have no idea how many there are. 24,000 sounds like a good number. I don't know. I know it's more than 10, more than 100. Anyone ever heard of Barbara Mason? Now She's Got Soul. No, I've never heard of Barbara Mason. I'm going to write that down though. Have you heard of the band called the Rag and Bone Man? Nope. Write it down. Nope. Bone Man? Bone Man. Yeah, they're getting better, Dari. They're not over the flu yet. My so for like the last I don't know, week, maybe no, it's got to be longer than that. It's got to be probably closer to 2 weeks now. My son has been enamored with listening to Luke Combs, the country artist Luke Combs. I think I might have like played it. It was like it came up on a suggestion on the XM radio or something either in the car, my wife's car. I don't have XM radio in my truck, but he's been enamored by it. I wrote it down. I'll definitely look it up later. So I got Billy Strings, Barbara Mason, and Rag and Bones Man. I will definitely look it up. But I have to get going, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you everyone for the super chats and for being here and putting up with my crazy scattered conversation again today. I appreciate everyone for being here, and I pray and I hope that every single buddy out there has a terrific weekend. Stay safe until next time. I have to end this because I have to film a podcast next before I go golfing today. So sorry. Again, have a great weekend, everyone, and stay safe out there.